Hello! My name is Dominique if you are new, and this is Homesteading for Three, and I want to give you an update on my seeds, and we're also going to be up potting a couple of them as well. So if you saw me plant out our seedlings, our seeds, we've done green peppers and jalapenos and celery so far. So we are going to be starting tomatoes pretty soon here. If you are unfamiliar with my videos, I am in Wisconsin, so I'm in zone 5B, I believe, or 5A, one of the two. I think we're like right on the line. But let me show you what they're looking like so far. So I had algae starting to grow, so I did put cinnamon on it, so that's what you see here. The little celery, this is my first celery sprout, and then I have this little tiny one popping up as well. Other than that, the rest of them did not germinate. So it's been about 3 weeks now, and that's all I see, but it's better than nothing. Now these ones, some of these peppers are what we are up potting, but they've done really well germination-wise. There's only been a couple that did not germinate. And so we have our jalapenos, and then we have our bell peppers. And I want to up pot them because they are getting pretty tall here, and I want to make sure that the soil is coming up to right below where the leaves start. But these are looking 10 million times better than they did for me last year because I did not use a heat mat or grow lights last year. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm gonna start up potting some of these. We're gonna do that together. So what I'm gonna do is use this tote to put the soil in and then add the water to that and make sure the soil's nice and wet. One of you suggested that for next time, so that when you are filling your cells, you're not using dry soil, because then when you add the water, it compacts down the soil. This way it's wet from the get-go, and then you know that there's enough. So I'm gonna try that. So thank you to you know who you are who suggested that, and I really appreciate that feedback. If anybody else knows of any other tips or something that you think I should be doing differently or better or could implement yet, feel free to leave a comment. But let's get up potting some of these. Alright, so hopefully you can hear me because I do have a fan on in here. Actually, let me just turn it off. So I have a fan on in here because they say you should have air movement in your room with your seedlings, because they need to feel a little bit of that wind pressure, so they get stronger, and so they're used to that for when they do go outside where there is actual wind. So I am going to pour some of this potting soil into here, and I apologize, this is not potting soil. This is seed starting mix. I think last year I just used regular potting soil, so that may have been another mistake I made, but I have some water in here. Oh, and of course I spill it all over the floor. Hang on. It's okay. So I don't really know how much to add. I'm not measuring anything. I want to make sure it's nice and wet, so. I have seen a lot of people doing seeding, what is it called? Seeding squares, is that what it's called? No, that's not what it's called. I might have to Google it. But that thing with the stamp, that you stamp in the soil and makes, soil squares, I think. I don't know. I'll put it on the screen if that's not what it is. But I want to try that. And I think that's what I might try next year. Because this year I've already started and I already have everything I need, and it just doesn't make sense really to me to start that now. But I do want to try it, and I really like the idea of it, because basically you're stamping the soil into a square, so that you don't have to use a little, plastic cell thing. So we are going to fill the pot up with soil. I got the soil pretty wet. And what I'm going to do is, so originally I had seed started all my stuff into 2 different trays. So my celery was in one of these trays and my peppers were in the other because they needed 2 different temperatures to germinate. But now that they've, gotten through that first step, they're on the same tray as you saw. And then I'll put these bigger ones now on the top shelf. So I have this tray of water here. I've been really liking to bottom water, so filling the bottom in here and then the soil kind of soaks up the water. Mostly because I was getting that algae on the top and this looked like it helped a lot with that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to need to add more soil. I'm going to do at least 2 of these are definitely big enough that they need to be up potted. And I'm going to need to get more seed starting mix soon. So I'm going to just do, I think, as many as I have. No, I'm just going to do like 3 of these because I'm going to need some of this soil for starting my tomatoes in a few days here. I'm just going to do 3 and then I will pick the 3 biggest to up pot for now. And we will go from there. I have gardening gloves somewhere. I just don't know where they are. Okay. So we have 3 little pots. I'm going to go wash my hands quick and then we will start the next step. Okay, so I'm going to use a fork to scoop this out. So I'll just put the fork in the side here to just kind of help pull this whole little section out. But I'm also just going to use it to make a hole here. Because I don't have my little gardening shovel trowel thing. And in here at the moment, it's out in my shed. And I don't want to go back up there at the moment. So this big one definitely is ready to come out of this. Ooh. Oh my gosh, look at all those roots. All right, so I got it in there. Hopefully that's up high enough. Let me know if I should have done that a little deeper. But we have 1 in. I'm gonna use my little fork gardening tool again on these other 2. Okay, so these 2 are jalapenos, so I need to make sure that I keep those by each other so I know what they are. I'm gonna need to just make another label or a couple more labels. So I'll keep this one in here so that these 2 are jalapenos. Put those back onto the light. And then there's a big bell pepper here that I want to up pot as well. I know I'm making a mess in this room, but that is okay. I will clean it up. The roots on these are looking really great and they're coming down all the way to the bottom, so I'm glad we're doing this. Then we can give them a little bit more room. And I did add a little bit of extra soil around the other ones. I want to make sure we had enough, but and we have our green pepper. That's so awesome. So I think I'm definitely gonna up pot these in a couple of days too, but I think I'm just gonna give them a couple more days in there. I'm gonna put those back under the light. And I'm going to make a couple more labels quick. All right, so I just found some cardboard and I cut them up into strips to use as labels. So we have our jalapenos and a green pepper. I don't know if you can see that. I'm really struggling to get this in the right spot today. There's some really great color on it. I don't know if you can tell, but there's some like purple in it. It's really beautiful. I absolutely love it. So these are gonna go on the top shelf. We raised the grow lights a bit, so let me just bring you up and I will show you that. All right, so you can see here we have moved the grow lights up just a couple of notches so that these the light is close to it. Hopefully that's a good height. And then we still have our little seedlings in the bottom here. So like I said, a couple of these are big enough that I will up pot them in a couple of days here. But yeah, basically it's just gonna be about maneuvering everything around so that I'm able to have room for everything. Because I have a lot of other vegetables that I'm gonna be starting. I only have so much room, but the good thing is you only need the heat mats on while these are germinating. So like this is sitting on a heat mat, but it's not turned on. It's not plugged in. So I can be kind of, I can move a heat mat over to a different empty shelf if I need to, or, kind of figure it out. I may need more of these trays. I think I have enough of those cells, but I may need more of these trays so that I can maybe have a third shelf of ones that are seed started and then some that have been up potted and then some that are kind of in that middle stage there. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm really excited with how these are looking because these are tremendously better than they were last year. If you had seen my garden last year, I wasn't making videos yet. I wish I had been because they were just so bad. And one of you may have been able to tell me what I was doing wrong. So I wish I was making videos back then, but now hopefully we can learn together. All right, well, I cleaned up my area and the mess that I made on the floor in here, but thanks for hanging out with me while I give you a little update and while we up pot some of these plants. I will be starting the tomatoes soon and then up potting a couple more of these soon as well. Life has just been busy, so thank you for your patience and waiting to see updates. Hopefully I am able to do updates a lot more frequently soon because I know a lot is going to be changing a lot quicker. But thank you so much for following along the journey in Garden 2023 journey. We will be ordering our what we need to build our raised garden beds soon. But we still have some snow on the ground, so we can't quite start building them yet. But I'm really excited for spring and for all the snow to melt. But yeah, like I said before, if you have any suggestions for me, anything you see that I could be doing differently, I would greatly appreciate that feedback because I've learned so much from you guys and I really appreciate it. And, I am a beginner gardener, so I know a lot of you are a lot more experienced in this area than me. And I think that's really cool that we can kind of learn from each other. So I hope all of you have a fantastic day and I will see you next time. Bye.